Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also tells you what the most important thing to keep on you when you're playing Airsoft is. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and welcome back to the show. We're back here on another Monday, hitting this little lull between events. I kind of got this, I don't know, I'm kind of excited. I'm waiting for the next one. I just finished Copperhead, like I said last week, and moving on to the next week, and I just can't wait for Memorial Day to get here because I have Operation Broken Home. I'm actually bringing a bunch of my teammates, so actually it's going to be a bunch of us rolling together. I'm also going to be running a sniper rifle this event. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to have that and then a smaller AEG to go along with it, so I can kind of switch back and forth, obviously for engagement distances, so it'll be the first time I did that. I also just picked up, if I can find it, a Rage Cam lens. Now I haven't put it in yet, obviously, because here it is in the bag. So I'm going to throw it in my contour and see how this plays out. I'm really interested to see how this works. I'm going to find out here shortly, so I'll keep you guys posted on that one, on the results. Also, thank you last week. I did kind of mess up my editing a little bit and left some audio files in the timeline. That's what happens when you're really tired editing and you're scrubbing through. So like at 2 minutes and something seconds, I think, like 2:15, there's a whole bunch of audio sounds, and you guys all caught that. Like that was like the #1 voted up comment of the last week. So yes, I absolutely dropped the ball on that one. I should have gone back and listened to it. I was just trying to get the thing up in time to get it out for Monday. But yeah, so aside from that, a bunch of stuff going on. Of course, patches, you guys see behind me. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I have spent the past week, in fact, if you guys noticed, last week was a little lighter on the videos, is because, no lie, I spent 2 entire days, and I'm not joking, stuffing envelopes full of patches. So if you guys are interested, you might want to jump on it because they have gone quickly. So yeah, if you're interested, grab them. They're on the website. Links in the description below, or it's just airsoftology.com/store. But again, enough of me promoting the brand and all that mess. Let's jump on into what you're really here for, and that's your questions. Corey Fraser writes, "Hey Jonathan, lately I've been seeing guys wearing medals and it drives me nuts. What's your opinion on airsofters wearing unearned medals and ribbons?" So having a lot of family members in the military, I never served myself. I mean, the most I did was like ROTC in high school, and I was an Eagle Scout, so far from actual service. But having family members that served, my wife's family did. In fact, my wife's grandfather was in the Special Forces during Vietnam. So looking at the medals and wearing those things, it's a really bad idea. I mean, it's a terrible idea. Now, I do understand that sometimes, let's say you're playing, you grab, your father's in the service, you grab his uniform and you just throw it on and go out and play. I can kind of see that, but even then, I just think with this whole culture of stolen valor and respect for everyone who's out there, putting their lives on the line to defend the country, I think it's just not something you should be doing. I mean, definitely take it off. Now, I'm not saying go and just abuse someone who has it, but it'd be a good educational opportunity for them. Let them know why. Let them know why it's not something that's really appropriate to do. Discuss it with them and kind of move on. Most people are just wearing them because, from my guess is, like I said, they just went to a surplus shop, it had all the ranks on it, they just threw it on and went out and played with it, no big deal. However, the ones that are really trying to pass themselves off as something else, those people are freaking despicable. And I've seen my share of them. I think almost every local field has them. My team is full of people from different backgrounds, including people from the special operations community that have been out, or actually out of the military now. So it's not the smartest thing to try to pull one over on someone who has been there and done that, especially if you're, like, for example, trying to say you're a Ranger and you're not. It's gonna be hard to trick the guy who really went through all the training and earned the tab. So yeah, those people are terribly despicable. There is a big line between them and then the ones that are doing it harmlessly, I think. Like I said, there's good education there, and then the other ones, well, they're just dirtbags. So that's kind of my opinion on it. Jerome Bellinger writes, "Hey Jonathan, why are all the M4 tips seem to be broken? They all get a V in them, but why?" All right, I was digging around here and I don't have any more that have what you're talking about. I change my gear a lot, but what you're talking about is on these flash hiders like this one that doesn't have it. It's perfectly smooth here. A lot of them have a notch. Now this is a flash hider off the front of my HK417. It's got a couple little notches, but you're talking about one that looks like it has a little chip taken out of it, like a little V. So what it is on those, and I'll use this barrel as an example, it's to actually set your suppressor the right orientation. So it's, if you're using, for example, a night suppressor. It's part of the SOPMOD kit that's actually issued or used to be issued to the guys. And it would have a notch here, and the notch will be oriented on the bottom. So on the top, you'll have the bird cage marks here, and then the bottom's gonna be smooth, so you're not actually, you know, kicking down in the dust and kicking dust up in your way. But you usually have a little notch here at the bottom, and that's actually when you put the can on, you lock it in place, it prevents the can from spinning around, and that's what that little notch is for. It's one of those weird oddball things. Unless you've ever owned a replica night suppressor or ever seen one in real life, you really wouldn't know what it is. Hey John, what are the mechanical advantages and disadvantages of shooting either semi and full auto? What kinds of wear and tear will each present on my gears? Additionally, could I change the firing mode of my AG or even a gas blowback to shoot 3-round burst in place of full auto? So as for mechanical, it's really not going to be too much more wear and tear between those two options. I think you might see a little more, like really long down the road, wear and tear on your gears with semi-auto, but I think it's going to be negligible. Where you are going to see probably the most pronounced wear and tear that'll happen sooner than later in semi-auto versus full auto is around your trigger contacts. Now trigger contacts, because it's just you're literally bridging two pieces of metal and allowing that battery to send juice to the motor and then turn everything over in your gun and fire your BB, is when you do semi-auto, you're constantly breaking and, you know, adding that connection over and over again. It's causing arcing, it's going to cause wear and tear on those trigger contacts. Some guns have better trigger contacts than others. I know mythically the KWAs in the past have always had like really robust trigger contacts. I think the Tritacks do as well, but those are like the two brands I can think of out of the box that have really strong trigger contacts that are going to last a bit longer than the standard, the average in the industry, which is still good average, don't get me wrong. But when you're dealing with semi-auto, you're going to wear it out a little more because you're just constantly arcing, it's constantly bridging that connection. In full auto, you're touching the two, a bunch of BBs come out, and then it comes off. So it'll be less per number of rounds you fire. And if you fire a lot of burst firing in full auto, you know, then, well, that's going to wear down pretty quick too. So it's all about how many times that trigger gets pulled. The way to fix it too is like MOSFETs. Like this one's ASCU2. This is the Gen 3 one. I'm going to put it in a gun for a broken home, test it out. I've not put this in yet, haven't had a chance to test it, but I've had a bunch of MOSFETs in the past. I've had a lot of different ones, AWS, I've had, I'm trying to think of Gate, I've had some. There's a lot of good options out there. So just do your research, look around if you're looking to add or to take the wear and tear away. Same goes for burst features. Short of mechanical burst like in the VSC MP5s that are out there that have mechanical burst on them, and then the old Marui SIG 550 and 551s, you're not really looking at too many guns where you can put a mechanical burst function into the gun. Definitely not aftermarket, at least not that I've seen. So you're looking at a MOSFET to add that functionality. As for gas blowbacks, that's wandering into a realm I don't know. I know it's possible because, like, for example, the Elite Force UMP 45 has 2-round burst, but I don't know if you can add it to like an LM4 or a WE gas blowback. That's a little beyond my tech knowledge, but I'm sure you guys out there who are really great with the gas blowbacks can help him out in the comment section below. J. Kelly 6 writes, hey Jonathan, can you start doing DIY videos? For example, switching to a Dean battery connector, cleaning a gas blowback pistol, etc. Thanks. Yeah, I definitely want to get back into that. Obviously, I mean, you guys like 24 thumbs up on that comment. That was actually the second highest comment aside from my mess up earlier in the show last week. But yeah, it's something I want to dive back into. I know there's a lot of need out there, and I want to do some really concise, short, but full of information tech videos. I started doing Tuesday Tips and Tricks, the T3 video, for a little while, and it kind of merged. It kind of came from Mondays, and it split into two, and then Tuesday Tips and Tricks went away. I think I'll be bringing that back here probably in the next couple months. I want to kind of fold that back in the loop. It may not be an every week segment, but it might be once every 2 or 3 weeks. I'll throw one out there for your basic stuff. And I'll definitely start with like the Dean's connectors, what to do, what not to do, especially dealing with LiPo batteries. There's a couple little do's and don'ts with the tech side of it. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to start putting together some real close-up, hands-on how-tos for you. Gannon King writes, hey John, recent newcomer to your channel. I just want to say that not only are some great questions being asked, but some great answers being given as well. My question is, what piece of gear do you think is the most useful or the most of an asset on the field, not only for yourself, but maybe for a team as well? Okay, this is really tough because I'm torn between two things when you're talking about here, because you did say yourself and a team. So for myself, if I have one thing I can do, and I'm gonna pull up my rig, this is what I wore at Copperhead right here, is in my GP pouch right here to the side is my toolkit. That's, I'd say, absolutely hands down number one thing. And in fact, if you can just have these two things, you're set. I've got an Allen key set right here and a multi-tool, so Phillips flathead knife, things like that. So these two items together can resolve most of the basic issues you're going to have with an airsoft gun on the field. I think this is critical. If your gun goes down or a teammate's gun goes down, that person is out of the fight and you're one player down. So having the toolkit to be able to get them up and running quickly matters a lot, especially in big games, big MILSIM events where it could take you 20, 30, even 40 minutes or longer to get from where you're playing back to the base, get your stuff and get fixed. So that to me is really critical. The other thing is right here on this side, and that would be a radio. So the second thing I would say, or when you're looking at teams, is having the ability to communicate with your team. I think that is an incredible asset. So the two things I see people not bring on the field all the time are, you know, the toolkit. Always asking, hey, do you have an Allen key? Do you have an Allen wrench? I need to adjust my motor or something like that. And then this, having that radio. If you don't have a radio and you are running with the team, you really should go pick them up. You can get Motorola, little bubble pack ones cheap. If you don't mind picking up the license, get the Valor things like that. You can do those if you need something for longer range. But just use them, practice with them, and learn how they work, because nothing's worse than somebody who just gets a radio and they've got, you know, that call button where they don't know how to lock the radio, and all you hear is that squelch in your ear. It's terrible. So yeah, those are the two things in my book. If you're running by yourself, it's the toolkit. If you're running with a team, somebody have a toolkit, but having team radios is really important. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it's time for the video recommendation of the week. And this is a really short video. I'll try to get my talking done before it's done. It comes from Storm TV, and this is an RPG they built. These guys are out of Russia. They're freaking crazy. They got a couple really cool videos on their channel. They only have a handful of them out there, but they're really neat stuff. Airsoft in Russia. And this is an exploding pyrotechnic RPG. It would never fly here in the States, never. I mean, this thing like launches it with a pyro and then it blows up on the back end. But just to watch it is really freaking cool. So if you guys want to see something that's kind of neat, short, I mean, I think it's like less than a minute. I mean, heck, it's already over right now. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. It's definitely worth a watch. And I think, although I wouldn't want to be shot at by one of these, I would love to get one at a local event or a national event just to play around with. Not to shoot anybody, but just to play around with and see how it works. All right, guys, that's it for this show. Thank you as always for coming by here on Mondays, spending time with me and asking some fantastic questions. Also, thank you for helping out in the comment section below. You guys do such a great job. There's so many questions down there. I have a tough time answering all of them. Of course, I wish I had all the time in the world to get them answered, but I don't, and you guys do such a fantastic job down there helping each other out. I really enjoy it. Also, don't forget, coming up, I got Broken Home, you know, in a few more weeks. I'm excited about that. I do have my Copperhead videos coming out. I should have my loadout video and a bunch of other stuff. I also have gameplay footage. I'm doing a new series. I'm kicking off this new one for not big MILSIM ops. This is gonna be for like short weekend games, things like that. And it's gonna be called The Debrief. And I've already got it produced. It's gonna be coming out this week, so keep your eyes peeled. I'm gonna have it out on Wednesday, so 2 more days after this show. It'll be a brand new series. You're gonna see it pop up here. I'm gonna maybe move it to Fridays to intermingle in with the gameplay footage. I'm gonna move gameplays to Fridays, but I want to get this up for you guys as soon as possible. So it's gonna be on Wednesdays. What it is, it's inside of my mind why I'm playing a game, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and when I make mistakes, what I did when I made that mistake, and what I'm learning from those mistakes. So I think it's gonna be a fun format. Let me know once you guys see it, if you like it, if you want anything changed on it. I'm really open to feedback, especially on the first handful of episodes, so we can get this thing fine-tuned to something that you guys want to watch. So yeah, check it out on Wednesday. The first episode of The Debrief is coming out. But again, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for asking those questions, and I will see you next week on the show. But until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.